Hey guys, how's it going? Start coming back to you again with another guide. Today we're going to be looking over Havoc Demon Hunter 4 PvE, not PvP. This one's going to help those people out that may be starting off and maybe they want to know, okay, what talents should I be running? Well, depending on what you're doing, depends on the talents. We'll start out by going over some open world leveling and questing talents, so as you're going up, these ones are ideal for you. I'll also cover off heavy AoE and heavy AoE and dungeons. So if you're running mythics, talents are going to change up on that. And then I'll go over the raid talents that are necessary, or at least the ones I use anyway. And then I'll go down and I'll break down why each talent is actually good for the situation that you want it for. Primarily going towards raid, as it's what I mostly do on this character. So let's go ahead and start. So if you're going for open world leveling or questing, so you're leveling up, and as you go along, you're going to want to start with Fell Blade. You're going to want to go with Demonic Appetite, as that's going to allow you to spawn those soul fragments more often, keep yourself healed. You're also going to want to go with First Blood. It gives a lot of extra burst to your blade dance, which hits like a truck anyway. Next, you're going to want to go with Soul Rending. You pull a lot of mobs. That extra leech while in Metamorphosis will keep you alive through a lot of stuff. Fell Eruption. I use this in PvP, but for leveling, it's really good for trying to take down maybe an elite or a rare that you really want to get down, because it does hit really hard, with the additional bonus that if they're immune to stuns, they take 100% additional damage. Master of the Glaive. Well, it gives your throw glaive 2 charges. It also slows enemies down, so if one of them's trying to run from you, and maybe your fell rush is down, throw out Master of the Glaive, you'll slow them down until you can catch up to them. And then Demonic. I-Beam causes you to enter demon form for 8 seconds after it finishes dealing damage. It's a great way to get a little extra damage in as you're leveling up. If you're going into AoE and dungeons, now I don't use these, but I-Beam or Blind Fury is good. It gives you extra Fury generation on your I-Beam and increases its duration, which means you're pumping out more damage. Again, you're going with Demonic Appetite. You want to be able to build up your Fury resources quicker, and you're going to get some of them Soul Shards to drop down. Chaos Cleave. Gives your Chaos Strike and AoE. Nothing wrong with that. Soul Rending, again, it's nice having that additional leech, especially if you're pushing high mythic pluses. That's going to help out a lot. Because Nemesis and Fell Eruption don't exactly carry what you need when you're doing mythic pluses, and you want heavy AoE, you're going to be moving a lot with Fell Rush and Vengeful Retreat, so that's going to help out with making sure you've got uptime. Just make sure you're not overusing them, so that you're not overlapping the cooldown, because then you're going to waste it. Demon Reborn. Invoking Metamorphosis is going to reset the cooldown on your I-Beam, your Chaos, and your Blur. 2 of them give you some AoE damage, the other one's going to give you that damage reduction cooldown. And the last one's Demonic. It's going to work really well with Blind Fury, so that's a good one to hit up. Now, as you see, the talents I'm currently running are for raid. So I go with Fell Blade, Demon Blades, First Blood, which works really well with the 4-piece out of Tomb. Soul Rending, really good on boss fights. It gives that additional healing while we're doing a burst. Nemesis, which is great for single target. Master of the Glaive, and it's good having that additional charge, when you're waiting for Fury to build back up. Keep some damage going either way. And then Chaos Blades is amazing for having some really awesome burst damage right there. So now, I'm going to go down through, and I'm going to explain why I think each talent works really well for what you're doing. So, Fell Blade. You can use Blind Fury, but I prefer Fell Blade because it gives you a charge to your target, it does fire damage, and it generates Fury for you, and it generates 30 Fury. And it also has that Demon's Bite has a chance to reset it. That's really good. Next one down. Okay, Demon Blades. Now, this thing is amazing if you've got the Ring Anger of the Half Giants, which I currently do when I'm running it. It allows your Demon Blades to generate additional Fury. So, with Demon Blades, it already generates Fury. With Anger of the Half Giants, generates even more. And it does shadow damage. You can't lose there. Yeah, you lose the ability for the to build your shadow damage or your Fury on your own using Demonic Appetite, but trust me, Demon Blades is better. You will lose a lot of damage if you decide to run this in a raid content. Go with Demon Blades, trust me. Next one down, we're going at First Blood. First Blood is your ideal for single target if you're not running that demonic build. And if you want to know what the demonic build is, I don't run it, but you can go ahead and look that up. It's kind of like the AoE dungeon build where you're using I-Beam to get in and out. You're running Blind Fury. But, yeah, and First Blood. Okay, this is why First Blood's good. Reduces the Fury cost of your Blade Dance, which is one of your hardest hitting abilities. And increases its damage to your first target struck. Now, here's what I love about it. It works really good with your 4-piece. Because your 4-piece increases the critical strike chance of Blade Dance, and Blade Dance also refunds 20 Fury if it hits at least one enemy. If you're on the boss, you can guarantee you're getting that 20 Fury back, no problem. More Fury means more damage, because it does have an 8.4 second cooldown. However, Chaos Strike doesn't. More Chaos Strikes, more damage. You're good to go on that one. Now, this one, I do run Soul Rending. However, Desperate Instincts is another option. If you get really low on health, it'll automatically pop your Blur for you, just in case you didn't think to do it. If you're not worried about getting hit that hard, and you just like the additional healing during meta, Soul Rending is a really good option. Now, Tier 5. You can optionally run Momentum, but for some boss fights, you're not going to be moving that much with Vengeful Retreat and Fell Rush, because you're going to be focused on the boss. So having Nemesis for your burst is really good. It's a good solid matchup when you pop that with your Chaos Blades, and you throw your Fury, the Illidari, in there. Get some good solid burst outside of the cooldown for Metamorphosis. It's a good choice. Now, this tier here, there really is no prime one to go with. I run with Master of the Glaive, just having that extra charge of Throw Glaive. If I'm out of Fury and I'm waiting to regenerate, have that little extra damage to throw, it never hurts anybody. And then lastly, if you're going the Demonic build, obviously, you're going to run Demonic. I don't. I go single target. I run Chaos Blades. Chaos Blades is great, increases all your damage by 30% for 18 seconds. And while active, your auto attacks deal 150% increased damage and cause chaos damage. Chaos damage is going to work up really well with your mastery, because that increases your chaos damage. So, those are the talents there. That's what I run. Now, let's take a look at the weapon. For those of you that are looking to get into this, my relics, they're not exactly pointed toward any one thing. I kind of just went with whatever was highest. But you do ideally want to work up to get at minimum your Concordance of the Legion Fall. That thing is going to increase your agility, which is going to give you much, much more burst. When it comes to some gear, your best in slot legendary is going to be the Anger of the Half Giants. Again, that's going to work really well with your Demon Blades, as it's going to allow you to generate a heck of a lot more Fury. I do have several other ones, but let's give you a list of which ones are the best ones to run with. I'm currently running my second one is Anchor, the Eternal Hungerer, because the other shoulders I have would interfere with me having my 4 set, so I run that. This one works really well when you're on the KJ fight. You go out, you soak the Armageddon, you eventually retreat back into the group. You just did yourself a heal, and you've got Leech. Helps your healers out big time. It's all about helping the healers out, because if you can help them, you're helping yourself. So, now the other shoulders I do have, where the heck are they? Oh, that's the tank ones. Okay, these ones here, Delusions of Grandeur. Now, I ran these a lot doing Nighthold. I liked them a lot. It worked really well with the trinket I was using at the time. I'm not using it anymore, but it allowed my Metamorphosis. I could use it 3 times during most boss fights, which was freaking amazing. I loved it. I don't think I've got the trinket anymore. I'm pretty sure I just disenchanted it and got rid of it. But I think it was the one off of... Just a second, let me pull it up for you guys. It's a really good one if you're going through Nighthold. It is off Illisand, and it was the Convergence of Fates. So my attacks your attacks have a chance to reduce the cooldown on your meta. Now, if you have other characters, as long as they use Strength or Agility, this trinket and its equipped ability will adapt based on what class you are. So if you're a DK or something like that, it'll adapt to one of your cooldowns as well. It's not strictly like this. It's showing that for me because obviously I'm a Demon Hunter. If you guys want any other information, such as the rotation, artifact traits and relics, if you want to go much more into depth on that, your stat priority is Crit Mastery. Crit Mastery is what you want to go for. Your Critical Strike is the main one you want to get because it's going to work a lot in your favor. And then Mastery is going to help you out as well. Because, well, Mastery just increases your damage. Having Haste is also a good thing. So, gems and enchants. Again, you're going to want to be gemming for crit. Enchants, I enchant for crit as well. I've got the agility on my back. I should have an enchant on my shoulders. Unfortunately, I don't. That's my fault. And I've got the Mark of the Claw. I do believe Mark of the Claw is a damaging one. One moment. Let me take a look at it for you. Yep, Mark of the Claw. Okay, so Mark of the Claw, it's got a chance to increase your crit and haste by 1,000. Nothing wrong with that. When you're running potions in fights, if it's a fight we've already done and we're just doing it for a run, I'll use Potion of Prolonged Power. The ideal one to use, though, is the Potion of Old War. It allows shadows a pair of ghostly shadows to echo your melee attacks and abilities. It doesn't say how long they last, but I think it's something like 20 seconds. But it's still a pretty decent burst of damage. For food, I got the Salt and Pepper Shank for the crit. I know there's some better ones out there. I think the better food to have is the Hearty Feast, the Labicue Ribs. Also, make sure you have Ancient Healing Potions. I think they heal for a bit more than the Lockstone now, and they just made it that way so that Alchemists seemed a bit more relevant. They actually used to heal for like 20% of your health, but they did drop that down. If you guys are looking for any macros, gear, legendaries, you want to look best in slot for all their different gear slots, head over to Icy Veins, check out their PvE guide. It'll give you more in depth on why it is you want to run this or that. There is some good information there. It's not a definite, but it's a good place where you can go and you can reference, try things out. You might find something that works better. You never know. So, thanks for tuning in, guys. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up.